Well, it's been a crazy year, I know, but I've got 7 New Year's resolutions for business growth in 2021 coming right up. G'day, Ben Futrell here, co-founder of Maximise Profit, where we're all about helping you build the business that you imagined. Now in this video, I'm going to take you through the 7 New Year's resolutions for growing an amazing business in 2021. So the first thing to do really is to kick off with some planning, and knowing what it is that 2021 is going to look like for you is probably going to help you and your team more than just about anything that you can possibly do in your business. And I know for some, planning is quite a difficult thing to get their head around, but realistically all you need to do is set some goals and then some what's called KPIs, key performance indicators, so you know whether or not you're on track. And it can be as simple as sales figures, number of quotes, how many customers you're going to get, how many products you're going to sell, how many hours you're going to bill. It doesn't really matter. So long as you've got something, the old saying goes that you can't manage what you don't measure. And so it's very important for you to be able to set some goals, have some KPIs, and then put a plan in place. I'll also say that when it comes to planning, try not to bite off more than you can chew. You really want to make sure that whatever it is that you plan is realistic and that it is achievable, because it's easy to overestimate what you can do in a short period of time, and then you'll just leave yourself disappointed. So I like to think more 5 or 10 years out and then break it down to the next 12 months. And so long as in the next 12 months in 2021 you can get through that, you're going to be well on your way to achieving business success. Now, number 2 on my list is all about managing the money, or mastering the money foundations in your business. Because what's going to happen is as you go through and run your business in 2021, you want to make sure that you're on top of things like cash flow, profitability, that you've set budgets for how much money you're going to make in that year. I see so many people just blindly go through the year without thinking about what am I doing, how much money have I got to spend, and then budgeting for profit. So it's really important that you set a goal for how much profit you're going to make in the year. Otherwise, you might find that you end up getting to the end of the year and being disappointed with the outcome. You also want to have some sort of methodology for measuring your cash flow. Now, I talk about it like this. Imagine you're driving along in a car and your dashboard stops working. So let's say your fuel gauge doesn't work anymore. You no longer have your speedo working anymore. What are you going to do? I bet you that you'll probably want to pull over and get that fixed. And the reason for that is because you're going to be uncomfortable trying to drive this car not knowing, right, with that uncertainty, a bit like 2020, right? Lots of uncertainty, and you don't need that in your business. So a cash flow forecast will ensure that you know how much money you've got in the bank at any given time. Now, it goes without saying you also need to understand how to read your profit and loss statements, look at those and understand what the numbers mean and how to use those to manage your business and make great management decisions. Which means you'll also need to know, roughly what does it cost you to run your business and what your break-even point is. Now, New Year's resolution number 3 is to stay focused. It's really easy to get distracted. What are you doing over there, Lee? What's happening? Oh, hang on. Oh, sorry, yeah. So number 3 is really stay focused on what it is you're doing. It is super simple to get distracted, especially in a work environment where you've got annoying people like me hanging around. Hey, Lee.
All the time.
So use things like calendars to block out time to do certain tasks in your business, so you know that you've got that time set aside. Use tools like management tools like Trello or Asana. It could be just a simple to-do list, something that helps you track what it is that you've got to get done. There are tools like Toggle, which you can put onto your desktop for you to be able to track how long you're taking to do each task. But it's really important to stay focused on what it is you're doing. Now, having said that, if you've put your plan together, which is what I talked about in point number 1, which should have been your first New Year's resolution, you'll sort of know what it is that you're supposed to be doing. And if you go off track, you should know that, right? So if what comes into your day or into your week or into your business, it comes into your mind even, isn't in line with where you're trying to get to in 2021, then you need to park it on the ideas board. And this is why I'm a big fan of 90-day planning, because what you can do is set your 90-day plan, really focus on what it is you want to do in that 90 days. And then if anything comes in, any ideas come in, rather than being knee-jerk reaction and trying to get those things done, you can put them on an ideas board, whether that's on a notes list on your phone, on a Trello board, or you just write them on a piece of paper, doesn't matter. And I can bet you that when you go back to some of those ideas at the end of the quarter, you'll probably wonder what you were thinking when you wrote those down. All right, New Year's resolution number 4 for success in 2021 in your business is to make sure that you test and measure your marketing. As I said in the previous one, you cannot manage what you do not measure. And so I suggest that you really want to test and measure everything in your marketing. It's very, very easy to just assume something is working just because the phone is ringing or because you feel like it's working, but it might not be. So what I think you should do is test and measure everything. And what I mean by that is you want to know how many leads you're getting in, how many referrals, what was the profit margins, just get a real feel for what's going on. A couple of things that I really like to test is acquisition cost of leads and conversions. So if you're doing marketing, you want to know how much did I pay per lead for that particular strategy, and you want to know how much did I pay per sale. Now this is very simple maths to work out. If you want to work out your acquisition cost per lead, simply take your advertising spend and divide it by the number of leads that you generated. Now you might want to do acquisition cost per lead and acquisition cost per qualified lead. So you can really ascertain how much it is costing you to get a quality lead in your business. The final number that I like to definitely measure out of those two is the acquisition cost per sale, which is the number of customers I got divided by my marketing spend. Now there's a whole bunch of other things to measure as well, like my average spend, how much does my client spend with me on average, and then what is the lifetime value of a customer, so how long do they stay with me. But you really want to be measuring everything. You want to measure your conversion rates, so what percentage do I convert into a customer, how many days does it take from a quote until I get to where I want to go. But definitely, if you haven't been doing that in 2020, 2021 is your chance to set that as a New Year's resolution. Make sure that you are measuring everything in your business, and you'll be able to improve all those areas without wondering whether or not what you've done has had an effect. All right, you're doing amazing. We're up to number 5. So what is number 5? Number 5 is to work on your business more than you work in it. And this is going to mean that you need to get really good at delegating and outsourcing your tasks. Now, I did a really good video on this. It's been quite popular on this channel already, called Time versus Money. I'll make sure there's a card somewhere here for you to click on to go and check that out, along with a video on outsourcing. So there's so many tasks that you could outsource to a virtual assistant. There's no reason for you to be stuck doing all the work yourself. So I suggest that one of the things you do is you set time aside in your diary where you are working on the business rather than in it. And this is really key, because if you're not working on the business, then nobody is, and nothing's going to improve. If you want things to improve, somebody's got to take time out to work on it. Now, when I first started thinking this way, I remember feeling a bit guilty if I took time out and I sat and just pondered, what does my business look like in the future? But I've learned it's really important to take time out. Sometimes I'll take a whole weekend out just to work on the business rather than in it. So for you, maybe you need to remove yourself from the environment you're currently in. Maybe you need to go and sit in a restaurant or a cafe. Maybe you need to go away, maybe somewhere else where you can stay in a different environment, away from all the pressures of your family and your business and your normal life, and go away and do some planning. But it is vital that you work on more than in. Now, if you don't have time to do that, then you will need to learn how to delegate. You'll need to learn how to systemize your tasks and give those things to other people to do. And I highly recommend that you check out, as I said, my video on time versus money, but also any resources on outsourcing to a virtual assistant. Get rid of all those nitty-gritty tasks that take up heaps of your time. New Year's resolution number 6 for success in your business in 2021 is to learn more. I love this saying. It's a saying that I've said for many, many years. If you want to earn more, you've got to put that L plate on and you've got to learn more. And in this day and age, it's so simple to learn new information. There's YouTube, which obviously you're here watching this. There's things like podcasts that you can listen to. There's online courses. There's you can Google stuff. There's just so many free resources out there for you to learn things. And then there's things that you can pay for that just take it next level. So there's things like udemy.com, which have got a stack of courses on there, or audible.com. I love audiobooks. So audible.com is an area that I love to get engrossed into, or podcasts. I just love podcasts. Some of the best free education there is on the planet. So, and sometimes just doing stuff is how you learn things as well. So don't be afraid to give new things a go. And it's okay. I always say the only failure is to failure to participate. So if you're not doing anything, then you're failing. But if you're doing something and it's not working, that's okay, because you're learning not what to do, or what not to do, rather. So make sure you learn something new. Make sure you put time in your diary every day to be able to do that. And you'll find that you'll come out on top in 2021. All right, so that's my top 6. I've got one more for you. And number 7 is to get yourself a business coach. Now, I'm a bit biased because I own a business coaching company, and we have a great team of people here that help our clients every single day of the week get amazing results in their business. Coaching is not just for sports people. Coaching is for anybody who wants to be stretched and pushed to take themselves to the next level. It's all about growing yourself personally so you can grow your business. So I know that you may have, maybe you've had a business coach in the past, maybe you know somebody who's had a business coach and they didn't have a great experience. Well, I always say that number one, you've definitely got to pick the right coach, but you've also got to be ready for coaching. And maybe 2021 is the year for you. So I would say that my number 7 New Year's resolution for anybody in business, if they want success in 2021, is to get themselves someone that's going to help them by mentoring them and holding them accountable. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please make sure you hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button if you're not already a subscriber. If you are, tell your friends about us. Let them know that we're here. Regular videos coming out every single week here, helping you build the business that you imagined.